Hey Libra, welcome to Arya Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Libra. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So we'll just see what else we can uncover, what other clues we can get from tarot, and then we'll jump into some love cards and kind of dig a bit into your romance. That's the part I love. Get to be a little bit nosy and see how your romance will unfold with this person, and then we'll wrap everything up with a bit of advice for you. So let's begin. You chose the octopus, and that is because your person displays attributes similar to the octopus. So you were drawn to this card. So let's talk a little bit about how this person might appear to you on the surface level, to you and others. This is really how this person comes across. So right off, this is obviously a really intelligent person. You can tell from this card alone, the only color that's displayed on this card is right around the head of the octopus. And that's because octopuses are known to be extremely intelligent. So most likely this is someone who is very smart, probably naturally gifted in areas that are challenging to a lot of other people. So this might be somebody who's like super good at math, or really skilled in the sciences or something that maybe you find difficult, but to them it just comes so naturally. You're really impressed by them. They're very smart, very capable of problem solving, and probably have a really good memory, which sometimes can be annoying because they'll remember everything that you said, everything that you did. If they're prone to hold grudges, it'll be a little bit difficult for them to forget what has taken place between the two of you. So with the octopus, we're dealing with water energy. Your person could be a water sign, or they could just display a lot of emotion, and that might be something that you know them for, like kind of wearing their heart on their sleeve. They're not afraid of their emotions. They don't shy away from their emotions at all. Anytime we're talking about the octopus, we have to pay attention to the fact that they have these 8 tentacles, these 8 arms. So the number 8 is significant here with this person. The number 8 actually came up as a significant number in the last reading, I believe. So you might want to check out group 3 as well. But 8 always just signifies abundance. That can be material wealth, or just an abundance in resources in any form. It can be someone who is abundant in friends or inspiration. So this might be somebody who is a little bit artistic and would be reliant on being inspired to do whatever it is they do, and they seem to never run out of inspiration. They are a very abundant person. You probably see them that way. They might be a person who seems like they kind of have it all, or like their career and finances are really in order. Yeah. With the number 8, that's what we're looking for. We think infinity, like the number 8 turned on its side is that symbol for infinity. So they are a person who just comes up with an infinite amount of ideas, of inspiration. It might seem like they have infinite time. We all get the same 24 hours in the day, but they might seem like they have a bit more, like they're able to get more done, something like that. So far, this is somebody who I think you're pretty impressed with. It seems they're really smart, and they seem to kind of always have what they need. Also with the octopus, we are dealing with like a sea creature here. So you notice on this card, there's a lot of darkness surrounding the octopus, and that's because, you know, it's dark under the water. It's dark there, and not only are we dealing in the darkness from just being underwater, but we're also dealing with like a really mysterious and like bizarre creature. Like this is a creature that's very different from us. almost like an alien. Like they are so, they're so different from the way that we appear, the way we move through the world as humans, that they could almost be considered like an alien type creature. So this is something to keep in mind with this person. They're probably somebody who does things in a bit of an unconventional way. They probably surprise you a lot, just being unexpected, making unexpected choices, or moving through the world in a way that is different than what you would imagine. And I get the idea that that's probably something that kind of thrills you. It's probably kind of exciting to be around somebody who will make you look at the world in a different way. Again, I really do think that we are dealing with a super emotional person. Kind of an interesting fact about octopuses is that they have 3 hearts. So we're definitely, not only are we here in this water element, but we're dealing with a creature that has 3 hearts. So there's definitely strong emotions here. It might be that you pick up on the emotional connection that the two of you have, that you know that they feel emotional about you, but this is definitely someone capable of feeling deep emotion, and it might even be something that you're sensing from them. So that's what's going on the surface with this person, and now we're going to flip this card over and see what parts of them they are not sharing with you. Okay, we have the Rabbit. So the Rabbit is earth energy. Okay, so we have water and earth here. They're leading with more emotion. And on the inside, they're probably quite grounded. That's nice. Not too much water energy, not too much emotion. That's always nice. They'll be a stable person. The one thing I want to point out with the Rabbit is you can even tell from the card these sort of intense reds that show up behind the Rabbit. The Rabbit is a really fearful creature. They kind of have to be, because a lot of other animals prey on them. So that's something to keep in mind, is that although this person may on the surface move through the world in an unconventional way, and they might come across as somebody who's fearless, who's going to just do things their own way, and they don't care what other people say. On the inside, they've got a little bit of fear. And I don't think this holds them back, because to you, they're appearing as somebody who's going to just go for it, even if it means thinking outside the box and moving in a way that's unconventional. On the inside, though, before they make any of those moves, they're a little bit scared. They're a little timid. So in terms of how they might approach you, they might be a little bit more afraid to approach you or to explore a romantic connection with you than you would think, based on how they move through the world as this kind of fearless and trailblazing character. That might not be how they feel inside. They might have a bit more fear. Also, this person is probably a really good listener. So if this is someone you're having deep conversations with, this would be somebody that you notice that they're listening to you. They're probably going to recall things that you brought up in conversation, and that makes you feel really special to know that somebody's actually listening to what you're saying. That might have been a complaint in past relationships, and it's really nice to know that they actually hear you. Also with the Rabbit, I get a sense of family, a sense of lots of children. So if this is someone you had family plans in mind with, wanted to start a family, this would be your ideal person. Even if they live a life where they seem a little bit unconventional and maybe like they, on the surface, you wouldn't expect them to be family oriented, I think there's someone who really is, because on the inside, they're coming across as this Rabbit who is very family oriented. Let's see. Before we dive into tarot, let's see what else might come up. I do kind of get the feeling that this might be somebody who is a bit mysterious to you. I can see how both of these animals could create a little bit of mystery and intrigue. Obviously, the octopus is mysterious, underwater creature that kind of, as we talked about, just moves through the world differently than most of what we're used to. And the rabbit with its kind of underground burrows, they can be a little bit tricky to figure out. They will run away at the first sight of a threat, and they might go underground. So there's really this element coming through of mystery, that this might be somebody who you find a bit mysterious. And that can be fun, but it could also leave you questioning a lot of things. Maybe you're not exactly sure how they feel about you, and it's just all a mystery to you. Let's jump into some tarot and see what else we can learn. I do think that this is someone you'll be able to go deep with. That was a whole bunch of cards. Let's not do that. Getting a sense of depth with the burrowing rabbit and the underwater octopus. This person has a lot of depth. And not only do they have a lot of depth just on their own, but it's somebody that you're going to be able to go kind of deep with, maybe have some deep conversations with. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the King of Swords. Let's get a few more cards. Had these cards come out, a couple of these cards came out in previous readings, so I do think it would be worth checking out some of the other readings. I can't remember which ones these were showing up in, but there might be a connection here. There might be something you can gain from some of the other readings with some of these similarities coming out. I know the Ace of Pentacles came out and the King of Swords came out in another reading. This is definitely somebody who's maybe exploring a new opportunity financially. Okay, we had a kind of a lot come out. However, I want to take them because I like them. And I think you'll like them as well. Automatically, I'm being drawn to these rich reds that are running through with the rabbit and the lovers. So this is a bit of what I was talking about before. I do think this is somebody who wants a family with you. And that might not be something that they've expressed to you. I don't know what stage in your relationship you are. If you're very early on, I can't imagine that they would. That would be a little bit awkward to jump straight into conversations about family planning. But this is definitely someone who sees you as a lover and wants to make babies with you, to put it simply. So that's something that they are not coming right out and telling you. The good news is I've got this King of Swords showing up here, so I do think this is somebody who will tell you these things, who will be pretty open about how they feel and how they want to move forward with you. I don't think that's something they're going to keep to themselves. They seem like someone who's pretty open in terms of communication, even if it is unconventional. So when looking at these cards, I wouldn't think that this is somebody who hasn't had their fair share of struggle. And that's probably really significant in your connection. You are most likely a kind of a bright spot for them, because I'm seeing some some kind of loneliness and some struggle, especially here in this Ten of Swords. This is somebody who's been through a bit of a dark time. I don't get the idea they're letting it weigh them down now, but they have been through a bit of a dark time. So when you're having these conversations with them and learning a little bit more about them, it would be interesting to see if that's something that they feel comfortable sharing, because they've definitely gone through something. If I look at how this is laying out, it seems like there was something that they wanted to manifest and bring to fruition with this Ace of Pentacles. And then kind of the way that it ended up is this Ten of Swords energy. Like, it didn't pan out the way that they would have wanted, and left them feeling really alone and potentially even betrayed. And I think that this is this disappointment and this area, this event in their lives really could have led to kind of this emotional mastery. So this isn't someone who let the struggles that they've been through define them, which I guess makes sense. We were talking about this octopus being kind of an unconventional character. This isn't somebody who is going to allow anything to define them. They're going to define themselves. They're going to kind of make their own rules and write their own story. And I get the feeling that's what this person has done. Yeah, they've been through disappointments, but what they allowed that to do was change them into somebody who had really mastered their emotions, who knows how to share their emotions, who knows how to communicate and be really open in that way, instead of letting it shut them down. And that was definitely an option for them. They could have allowed that to shut them down and to break them. And that's not what they did. So I feel like in relationship with this person, you're going to benefit from that. There probably was a time of kind of rest and renewal after this disappointment. A little bit of contemplating, and I don't know. I just get the feeling that that contemplation is what led this person to become this King of Swords. Like, yes, they had to kind of go within. They had to take a break. They had to regroup. But what they did was emerge as somebody who's a master of their emotions. And sure, there's probably still a little fear there with this rabbit here, but I feel like this is somebody who is going to face that fear and kind of do it anyway. I think that might be what they do. That's why you see them as the octopus. You see them as this unconventional, kind of maybe a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. You see them as a little fearless, and that's not really the case. They can come across as being really fearless, but they're not actually fearless. They just kind of feel the fear and do it anyway. So the last two cards that came up here are kind of the best cards that you could possibly get in terms of a romantic connection. We have the Lovers and the Two of Cups. So this person definitely sees you as a partner, as an equal partner, as someone that they respect, as somebody that they want to give to and that they want to grow with. The Two of Cups energy is always really reciprocal to me, so I really like that. It's a balanced relationship. It's one where there's give and take, and there's a lot of love coming from both sides. So I think you're in luck here, dealing with a really emotionally mature person who's ready to give themselves over to a romantic connection. Like, they've been through the challenge. They've contemplated it. They've maybe taken a break, you know. With this Four of Swords, this could be somebody who maybe they didn't date for a while because they just didn't want to go down that road again. So they kind of took a little bit of a break. But then, like, here you are, and it's the Lovers, Two of Cups energy. So I think that break for them is over, and they're ready to explore something with you. which is beautiful. I would say don't discount the fact that they might still be a little bit afraid to do that, but they are ready to do it, and they're going to do it anyway. Like the octopus is just going to do it anyway, even though it might freak them out a bit. So let me grab some romance cards. We'll see what else. Getting like a really tender energy here. I think this is somebody you really care about, and they care about you too. Sometimes things come through as there's kind of a lot of like hot and heavy passion, which definitely that's here. But there's like some deep emotions running through as well. Okay, and then passion comes out. So yes, there's definitely passion here. We see that with the lovers. This is a very passionate couple. Both of these cards in an embrace. That's so cute. I don't know, I'm seeing you guys like hugging, just hugging all the time, holding each other all the time. Like you can't get enough of each other. You'd always want to be touching this person. So I think that's how your relationship is going to go. And that's probably a bit of what they're not telling you is like they want to hug you, they want to touch you, they want to hold you all the time. And they're kind of holding back on that. That is so sweet. Let me put that there with the lovers. Let's see what else. Okay, and effort. Get that to focus. Okay, so this definitely, we talked about, I'm reading this a couple of different ways. We talked about the effort that this person put in order to grow themselves into somebody who was ready to step into this Lovers and Two of Cups energy. So that's definitely present here. They put in a lot of work. You might not know that about them. That might be something that they did in private, but they definitely put in a lot of work to become somebody who's ready to be in this relationship with you. And not only did they do that, but they're going to put in the effort in this relationship. They're not going to be somebody where you're wondering, like, do you even want to be with me? Like, we're not doing anything. You don't take me out. You don't pay attention to me. It's not going to be like that. They're going to be somebody who's very affectionate, who's very about emotion and about letting you know exactly how they feel. So if that's been a problem for you in the past, just feeling like you're in the relationship by yourself, that's not something you're going to be feeling in this relationship. You're definitely going to know that this person is in this with you 100%. So that'll put your mind at ease. Let's get a little bit of advice for you. You can just kind of figure out how you should move forward. Dare to dream. Okay. That really gives me the feeling that this is somebody that you've had your eye on for a long time, and you might have felt like they're a bit out of reach. Like they're this mysterious octopus that is just so unconventional, and you might have even worried that they're out of your league, that you wouldn't be the person that would catch their eye. But Dare to Dream is telling me that's not the case at all. Go ahead and dream it. Go ahead and manifest that, fantasize about that, because this is actually something that can happen, and they actually do feel they feel this passion for you. Okay, we got Drop the Mask and Waiting. So yeah, this is somebody that you have been kind of waiting on to make that move. Don't think that you're going to be waiting for much longer. Drop the mask. this might be a little bit of like, just let yourself, let your true self shine through here, because that could be a little bit of a stumbling block. You're looking at this person who seems maybe a little bit out of reach, mysterious, and you can't figure out what's going on. But at the same time, I think the best advice is just to absolutely be yourself, because you being you is what made this person attracted to you in the first place. You might not have known that they were feeling that attraction. You might not even believe that they do, but they do. And if you're not being authentic to yourself, then you're not going to be drawing them in the same way that you were before. So that's actually some great advice, just to know they actually like you for exactly who you are. You don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to be as wild as they are. You don't have to be as daring as they are. You don't have to be as adventurous as they are. You might see yourself as somebody who's a little bit more timid. Just know that they have a little bit of that timid nature running through them as well. So that's not something they're going to look down on or shy away from. Some of this outward, like adventurous spirit might be a little bit of a mask for them. It might be a little bit of a mask that they need to drop, because inside we have kind of this timid, trembling rabbit here that will run away at the first sight of trouble or of fear. So it might be a matter of both of you needing to drop a mask, or them needing to drop this octopus mask and let you know that they're a little bit afraid. So I don't know, I'm getting the sense that it's like you thought that potentially you were the one who might not be accepted, that might not be wanted, and I think that they're feeling a little bit of that too, if not a lot of that. So they might be worried that you aren't going to accept them for who they are, especially somebody who kind of puts on this octopus front. They might be thinking that nobody would be interested to know that they're a little bit more timid, and they're a little bit more emotional and sensitive. That's the word I'm looking for, because that really describes both this octopus and this rabbit energy. They might be a little bit more sensitive than most people would guess. And this is probably going to be something that's uncovered as you spend more time together. You might be kind of waiting for them to drop the mask. They're probably waiting for you to drop the mask. So the best advice here is to be yourself. It was you that caught their eye in the first place. It was you that brought out this Lovers and Two of Cups energy. And that's what they're attracted to. Like, you already did it. Like, you were already somebody who they wanted to put in the work with, who they wanted to explore a passion with, a passionate relationship. So there's really nothing else that you have to do but be that same person that attracted them in the first place. Okay. I think that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, letting me do this reading for you. If any part of this reading resonated, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that we can all become one big happy family. I want you to take care, and hopefully you'll join me again for another video. Bye!